Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man, so let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about OTF Boona. Now, OTF Boona is one of Lil Durk's artists, man, and it looks like he done ran into some trouble in Atlanta and got locked up, and he's facing 4 separate charges from a shooting that allegedly took place months ago, right? Now, it looks like they finally caught up to OTF Boona and put this case on him. Not to say that he's guilty, you know, everybody's innocent until proven guilty in my court of law, or at least in my opinion, right? Now, OTF Boona looks like, man, he got caught up in a situation involving a shootout. And before we get to the specifics and talk about OTF Boona and, you know, just give you guys a refresher on who he is, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And, man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about OTF Boona. Now, OTF Boona, or Boona for short, man, he's one of the artists that's actually signed and associates with Lil Durk, man. Now, I don't know what's going on as far as OTF is concerned with their artists getting arrested, man. This seems like something that happens a lot. It's always somebody out of their camp that's in some type of trouble with the law, and it's starting to probably weigh a toll on how many people they actually got moving around with them. Now, OTF is deep. Don't get me wrong, man. And when you see Lil Durk out there performing, you see a lot of people with him, man. And it seems like with Boona being gone and actually being arrested, it's just another hit to the team. And especially when you factor in the fact that Boona is an established artist, man. When I say established, I mean he actually featured on one of the OTF albums. Now, Lil Durk came out with a compilation album with Alamo Records, and the project was titled Only the Family, Lil Durk Presents Loyal Bros. Now, when this came out, it hit the streets pretty hard, and a lot of the OTF loyalists were loving this, man. Now, Boona was actually featured on the album. On one of the last tracks, he was featured on a song called Get Backers by Only the Family, and it's him and a couple of other artists under the OTF umbrella. So it looks like he was really making major moves in order to get his name out there and try to make it as a rapper, man. You can see the upgrade on social media of his chains and everything. You can see he's in the studio with people like Big 30. He's in the studio with some other major artists. Dude was really locked into this rap thing, man. And he took a lot of pictures and stuff with Lil Durk. He was on stage with him a lot. But it looks like he recently caught a case. Now, the case that he caught was actually at the end of last month, man. At the end of September is when he got arrested. And at this point, it looks like he's been booked and arrested for over 11 days. At least that's what it says on the website that talks about the booking at the place that he's booked at. You know what I mean? I don't want to give up all the information, but man, the story around this is just as crazy. Now, allegedly, Boona was involved in a shooting that took place back in March at Cumberland Mall. Now, Cumberland Mall is actually in Cobb County, and that's currently where he's locked up, right? He's in Cobb County Jail, according to his booking information, according to his mugshot, and according to everything that we see. Now, there's no official news report on this situation, but there was a news report that surfaced at the time of the shooting that he's allegedly involved in. Now, the charges for Boona, you could say, are pretty crazy, man. So let's talk about his charges. And the 4 charges that he has against him right now, according to all the information that's out there, are 4 felony charges, and all for aggravated assault. Now, it looks like he was given these charges and the warrant and everything went out on the 29th of September. And according to all his booking info, it matches up with what we know of OTF Boona, man. So it looks like they've pretty much got him, you know, in booking or in the jail right now, awaiting to see a judge or to proceed with this trial or whatever's going to happen in the legal process. You know what I mean? Now, the shooting that he's allegedly being involved with or allegedly tied to, and I got to say alleged because none of this has been confirmed. And as far as I'm concerned, a lot of the people who are involved in the shooting that's being mentioned, they've already been arrested or either been listed as a victim in the shooting. But man, the story goes like this. Okay, so let's talk about this shooting that allegedly involved Boona OTF, man, or OTF Boona, right? Now, there was a shooting that took place on the 23rd of March of this year, right? And it involved several people outside of a Buffalo Wild Wings parking lot that's also, you know, a shared parking lot at Cumberland Mall. Now, the story goes that 2 groups of people, you know, started to fire upon each other after getting into a fight and an argument, right? And also that somebody underage was shot in the process of them, you know, shooting back and forth at each other. Now, there was a story that took place on a local, neighborhood watch website that talked about the situation and the people who got arrested after that. Now, according to this story, it says this, man. Now, remember that this story takes place several weeks later in April timeframe. At this time, there were still shooters on the run. They didn't know who was exactly involved, but they knew of the victims and the 4 people who were allegedly shot at the time that the shooting took place, because they were all taken over to a hospital, a nearby hospital, and given treatment. And some of them came back, they do the test to make sure if you were involved in the shooting or not, and they were arrested on the scene while they were treated at the hospital. You know what I mean? Now, the story goes on to say this. It says police have arrested and charged 3 men in connection with the shooting outside of Cumberland Mall last week. Court records and arrest warrants show that Javoka Harris, 19 years old, of Fairburn, Deshaun Powell, 19 years old, of Atlanta, and Karanji Reese, 18 years old, of Atlanta, face gun and drug charges in connection with the March 23rd shooting. Harris faces the most severe charges. The shooting occurred just after 6 p.m. last Tuesday in the parking lot of Buffalo Wild Wings at the mall. Police found 4 people injured upon arrival. Harris, Powell, and Reese were identified among those injured, as well as an underage person during the shooting last week. Now, it looks like at that time, each of them were stable when they were taken to the hospital. You know what I mean? Now, only Harris is accused of firing shots. In his arrest warrant, police said that he fired towards several people at the mall while aiming at a green Dodge Durango, which led to reckless conduct charge. He is also charged with felony counts of possessing of, that green stuff with an intent to distribute and possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. So it looks like Harris was the one who got hit with a majority of the charges. Now, Harris was already on parole when he was arrested. Powell and Reese were both charged with felony possession of a firearm during commission of a crime and felony drug charges. Police searched a white Jeep Grand Cherokee and found 1.4 ounces of you-know-what, a digital scale, nearly $4,000 in cash, and an empty 5-gallon bucket with you-know-what residue, arrest warrants show. Police also found a micro Draco AK-47 style pistol and a Glock 9mm pistol. Powell was found to have on him in his pockets, as well as police said in the warrant. Harris and Reese were arrested March 23rd, the day of the shooting, after they were taken to the hospital. Powell was arrested 2 days later. And per jail records, Reese and Powell were each released on $7,000 bond, while Harris remains in Cobb County Jail and is being held without bond. So it looks like at the time, since they were the ones who got shot and were treated at the hospital, they were the only people that the police had at that time. You know what I mean? I don't know what would lead them to get OTF Boona or how he's even involved in this, because none of the stories say anything about him or his name specifically, but he is locked up currently on those aggravated assault charges. So somehow people are putting 2 and 2 together on social media. And I just like to say, man, at this time, this is all rumor. Ain't none of this facts. We don't know what's facts or not right now. And you got to pretty much just leave it up to what it's going to be, because eventually we'll get a story that talks about what's up with OTF Boona before long, even though he's been locked up for a while. And I think if he was involved in the Cumberland situation or the Cumberland Mall situation, they would have already came out with it. I don't know. What do you guys think about this, man? Do you think that OTF Boona is involved in this situation? Or do you think he's the one gunman that they could not find until now? Or do you feel maybe his charges are related to something totally separate that has nothing to do with this case at all? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.